Hello class! Today we will finish up on our section on how multicellular organisms are organized. We have already discussed in previous lectures how cells that are similar to one another can group together to form a tissue. And likewise, how groups of tissues can come together to form an organ. Today we will discuss the final steps in the hierarchy of organization by recognizing that organs do not usually function alone. Instead, groups of organs can work together as organ systems to complete a series of tasks. Now, we previously discussed that an organ can accomplish a more complicated task than any of its tissues can accomplish alone. Well, we will see that the same is true for organ systems. An organ system can accomplish not just one task, but a series of tasks that cannot be accomplished by any single organ working on its own. So, for example, in order to get oxygen into the body from the environment and to transfer it to the blood, organs such as the nose, the trachea, and the lungs must work together as the respiratory system, which is shown in that picture there. Each of the organs I just listed plays a part in accomplishing the entire series of tasks. So let's go ahead and look at some examples of other organ systems. First, on the left, we have the circulatory system, which includes organs such as the heart and the blood vessels pictured here. The organs in this system work together to pump blood throughout the body and to deliver oxygen to the cells. Next, we have the nervous system, which includes organs such as the brain and the spinal cord, as well as the nerves. All of these organs working together can do the job of controlling the rest of the body. Next, we have the digestive system, which contains organs such as the mouth, the stomach, and the intestines. And once again, these organs are going to work together as a system to break down and absorb nutrients. And finally, we have some systems that you might not typically think of as organ systems, but because they include multiple organs, like this one, every bone on here on this skeleton is its own organ. And so the bones working together would form the organ system called the skeletal system. The job that the skeletal system will accomplish will be to provide internal support and structure. And then lastly, on the right, we have the muscular system, which is composed of organs called muscles. Together, these organs work to enable the body to perform complex movements. And just as we saw with our organ slide and our tissue slide, these are not by any means all of the organ systems that are in an organism. There are many more examples of organ systems that are not listed here. We will study these organ systems and others throughout the year. Tomorrow in class, we will use the example pictured here to summarize organization in multicellular organisms. So, leave it blank for now, but stay tuned for tomorrow. I want to finish this section by first thinking of all the ways that you can and must interact with your environment every day just to make it through the day alive. In order to do that, you must be able to do things such as finding, digesting, and extracting nutrients from food. You must also be able to transport yourself from place to place. You must be able to respond to stimuli in your environment. You must be able to communicate with other organisms and form a variety of relationships. And we could go on and on and on with the many tasks that keep you up and running every day. Even though the tasks we've listed here are things that we do every day without really noticing it, if you step back and take a second to think about it, everything we listed there is very, very complex. Accomplishing these tasks requires the completion of many steps in order and sometimes even simultaneously. Thus, none of the organ systems that we discussed on the previous slide could accomplish any of these tasks by themselves. Instead, the organ systems are interdependent. Okay, now make sure you write that down correctly. It's not independent, it's interdependent, meaning they depend on each other. And they constantly, the organ systems that is, the organ systems constantly rely on each other to keep the entire organism functioning. So, let's finish up by looking at the woman pictured in the background of this slide. I want you to consider in what ways her organ systems are interacting to allow her to perform this complex task in which she is involved. Please take a moment to think about it, and I want you to write your ideas in the blank right here and have them ready to share during tomorrow's class. Okay, we are done with our section on multicellular organization. Please complete your Quizmodo, and I will see you tomorrow. Good night.